Hello and welcome to New Hope for Today. My name is Pastor Andrew Hise, and I'm the pastor at New Hope Friends Church in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Best-selling author and journalist Neil Strauss once said, "People go through so much pain trying to avoid pain." Now, it seems like a crazy little saying that he's saying there, but when we really think about it, and actually when I first read that, several questions came to my mind. The first question is, why do we try to avoid pain in our life? I think I know the answer to this question. I think we all know the answer. Pain is hard. We don't like pain. We don't like the difficulty of pain. We hate physical pain. We hate our emotional pain. Any type of pain we want to avoid because it's hard. And we don't want to be labeled as masochist. Somebody who enjoys pain and seeks it out, has pleasure in it. No, pain is hard. But I think what Neil is saying is very true. That when we make our life about avoiding pain at all costs, we make our life about trying to get away from hard situations, hard problems, that we end up actually causing ourselves so much more pain than we would have had in the first place. A great example of this in my life that I really struggled with, especially in my undergrad years in college, was what I call depression naps. These were naps that were brought on by an overwhelming amount of work or an overwhelming amount of stress on me. And so what would happen, instead of trying to fix the problem or help the problem, I would avoid the pain, avoid the problem, and I would just sleep. I would just take a nap. I did this quite often in college, and maybe you've had the same experience, that when things get really tough or things are difficult, whether it's physically or whatever, you just shut down, you just take a nap. We do things to avoid this all the time. I think another way that many of us try to avoid pain is by using our phones. We scroll through Facebook or we scroll through Twitter, and it's just this mind-numbing scrolling that numbs us to the pain of our life or the reality of our life. And we end up causing ourselves so much more pain than if we would have just really dealt with the problem or addressed the problem. And I wonder why we do this. Why do we try to avoid pain? Especially since as we're reading through the scriptures, there's such a different approach to pain, especially that Paul takes in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Many people have speculated what Paul is exactly talking about in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 when he refers to this pain or this, whatever it is, as the thorn in the flesh. We may have heard this phrase before. But many people have said, this is a physical pain, this is an emotional pain. But the scriptures don't spell that out for us. And I don't think we should even speculate, because I believe what Paul is saying here includes all types of pain and problems that we may have in our life. And so what he's saying here is for all of us today. And look at how he views this hardship, this pain in his life. He says in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7, "So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from being conceited." Now notice this, first of all, this was pain that was brought on by and sent by God. It was a pain that was doing something in Paul. See, he looked at this thorn in the flesh, this chronic problem, whatever it was, whether it was depression or anxiety, or whether it was a physical pain that maybe resulted from beatings or whatever it was. He was given this thorn in the flesh, he said, to make him not be conceited, not rely on his own strength. And notice what he does. He didn't just roll over and try to seek out the pain. He has a very realistic view. He says in verse 8, "3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me." You see, Paul here was trying to pray to God to get this pain to go away. So it's not like he was seeking out the pain. And so I'm not telling us that we should seek out pain or that we should enjoy our pain. But I think when we have a proper perspective, as Paul did, on the different problems and pains in our life, then we can come to the realization that our pain has a purpose. And we may not ever see that purpose on this side of heaven. But all of the pain that you're experiencing right now, whether you're struggling with depression or anxiety or other kind of mental illnesses, or whether you're struggling with physical pain, pain that's brought on by accident, or pain that's brought on by different ailments and illnesses, or whether you're feeling emotional pain from people who have hurt you or caused you much harm, all of this pain has a purpose. All of this pain has a point in your life. And when we, with Paul, understand that these pains in our life have a purpose, then we're able to hear from God the very message that he told Paul. This is what he says in verse 9. After asking God to take the pain away, God responds like this: my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. You see, this is how we should couch and how we should understand all of the pain in our life. That they are pointing us to the fact that we are finite and that we serve someone who is greater and more awesome than we are. And that through this, through our weaknesses, through our pain, through whatever you're suffering through right now, God's power is being perfected and made perfect through that weakness. See, this paints a different picture of our pain. So instead of us trying to avoid pain, as Neil Strauss tells us, and in the process making more pain for ourselves, let us look at our pain as something that has purpose. Do we ask God to take it away? Absolutely. Do we ask God if He would help us understand the purpose? Absolutely, we do. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that our pain has a purpose, and that purpose is to show us who we are and to show us who God is. God wants to work through your pain. He wants to work through your pain today, if you'll just allow Him to do that. I hope this has been an encouraging message to you, and that you will not try to create more pain for yourself by avoiding pain, but understanding why this pain or why this problem is in your life in the first place. Blessings, and I love you all. New Hope for Today is a video devotional released on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is recorded by Pastor Andrew Hise of New Hope Friends Church. New Hope Friends Church is located in Goldsboro, North Carolina at 4451 U.S. Highway 70 East. New Hope for Today. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow.